professors and UNH professors. So we don't think we're going to get in. But Yvonne's so sweet, right? She's so sweet. So she has this cocktail party. And Lou at the time, it was probably 2 years before he died, and he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I go up to him and I go, "Thank you so much for coming to our party tonight." And he goes, "I live here." I was so embarrassed. Kevin said, "We are never getting into that club."
You remember what you said about Kevin?
What?
Kevin is very shy.
Oh!
You did say that
Well,
to me.
I thought he was.
And he
changed.
was a little quiet at the beginning of that cocktail. But you've been wonderful.
Okay. And one last fun story about the old clubhouse. What you liked about the old clubhouse.
Oh, well.
And I mean, I know you love this, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it was very different in that we didn't have waitresses. I mean, when we had a party with the tables in there, and there was one person who sat at the table that was kind of in charge of making sure all the dishes were taken away and brought to the kitchen, and everybody pitched in. And it was much more casual than it is now. And it was lovely. It was great. And it's great now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Joni.
Okay, wait, I have one story about being a mother. So my Susan said I could tell this story. So she was in high school. She was a devil. Oh, she was such a devil.
Wonder where she got that from.
So she decided they were going to go to Florida for a couple of weeks in their vacation. And I didn't want them to go. This was a couple of girls, 3 girls, unless they took a boy with them, in case they had a flat tire. He was the biggest jerk. They dumped him. As soon as they got down there. In the meantime, I'm home. And she was growing marigolds in the corner there. I said, "Oh, isn't that nice? She's growing marigolds." I pinched them. I watered them. All of a sudden, they were gone, and they were out in the garden in pots. I said, "Aha!" It was marijuana. She was such a devil. So I gave one. I worked for an international fertilizer company at the time. I potted one, put a ribbon around it, and put it on the lawyer's desk in the office. And he said, "Yvonne, you're going to get me fired." But he put it on the roof, and the maintenance man took care of it. And this whole crop of marijuana.
Did you ever partake?
No.
Good question.
No. I do other things.
Good for you.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
All right, let's clean that mic and hand it over to Joni.
Okay, I guess so.
I don't know, I heard somebody got COVID in a tour bus because they talked in the same microphone, so I was like, ooh.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes, I guess so.
Joan.
Yeah, hold it up, kiddo.
Yes, ma'am.
So, first I'd like you to talk about your young days in Franconia, growing up on the farm, and what your dad did other than the farm for a living.
Okay. Well, one of the things he did, of which I just have an example over here, it's kind of interesting, and that is that they played golf. And I always lie because I say I didn't play golf until I was 65. And you know, it seems that, I don't know, one of us might have been the reason why this happened, but there was a whole bunch of short golf clubs where somebody had run over them at the farm, and we found them as kids. And you know what? I lied. We played golf when I was about 5 or so. I think somehow Dad's golf clubs got behind some truck that was backing up. And guess what? I lied because we played golf. We hit a ball all around the field. So that and just to show that I do have over there, which is gonna get. I found the new photos. I'm gonna mount it, and that is 1946. Permission from David Sims, from my mother and father, to play golf here, and pictures of him playing golf, which is from 1946.
Wow. Who
So,
was he?
oh, my father?
No, Sims.
Oh, he was the manager of the Profile Club at the time, but the Sims family were involved in the management and whatever for years. And I don't.
One was president.
Yeah.
They owned a lot of his properties.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, when one of the Simses I went down because I had puppies or something. It seems to me they lived down the road near Letty Crosby, and we went this way down to the property when I was a young person, down past the old swimming hole, and then keep going down the road, and you go down and end up on the road going past Letty's, I think, and which was, I sort of vaguely remember that, and I sort of vaguely remember, I didn't come up here, but I wasn't a member. They had me too much work going on at the farm. I did swim up here a couple times in that hole,
On
whatever it is
7,
over there.
on the left, right hand side.
So yeah, did it have a diving board?
It had a dock.
I remember something, and then the only other time we ever came up here was for the fireworks, and that was always impressive. They always had a fireworks way back when I was quite young, but I don't remember what years it was.
I'm gonna keep.
You're gonna keep me going?
I'm gonna keep you going.
All right, Kelly.
I got a lot of questions for you,
What's
Joan.
next? Oh dear.
And then we're gonna open it up for everybody to ask questions that they want to. So, tell us about why your dad didn't get into the Olympics as a skier, but you did.
Okay, my father made the Olympic team in 1940. It didn't go because of the war, which was always very, very sad for him. And it was being a star athlete was his justification for not being a star student. And that really was a bothersome for him all his life. And so he needed me to fulfill that dream. And so I was well directed in my youth, let me say.
And how did that affect your sibling rivalry?
Oh, you put me on such a big pedestal, man. You ask Dad. You're his favorite. You can get what you want. And then I'd have to say, you know, Dad did this. I didn't like what he did. But I'd have to be on their side. So, but it affected my get up and go to really strive to be a top performer in terms of skiing, because it was a matter of, do I get on Dad's pedestal or am I friends with my siblings? And so it kind of, I didn't fight as hard as I might have. I think. Yeah. I might have been more aggressive or more competitive than I am now.
Well, you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, so don't complain too much, okay?
No, I won't complain, no.
Tell us a little bit about, let's see, your mom unfortunately had polio, and tell us about how that affected your life and what you wanted to do with your life.
Well, she got polio. She went from 165 pounds down to 90 in iron lung for 6 weeks, and then after about six weeks, they shipped her to the Warm Springs Polio Foundation in Georgia for a year. So we were kind of independent, but during that time, because I'm my father's oldest son, I mean the oldest one, he won direct, and so he would make me do the maintenance on the machinery, change the oil. Well, if you don't read the book, yeah, read the book, you can do that. Grease the bearings, I've never done that. Oh, well, read the book. Okay, so anyway, so I was his oldest son in many ways. But so anyway, by the time I was 10, when my mother had polio, I knew the ropes on the farm. And he would tell me to tell the help what to do, and by the end of the day, he would call me back and I'd tell him whether they did it right or not. Sorry. Is that you doing that? Anyway, so I had so I really became so involved in the farm. Even when I was just more recently working with Kitty Bigelow, working on the museum, I didn't know my way around Sugar Hill. I never went away from the farm. I was on it all the time.
But you were in Sugar Hill.
Pardon?
The farm was in Sugar Hill.
Yes, I know, but I didn't know. That's the wrong side of the tracks. Yeah. We don't live on the hill. We live down on the wrong side, down by the river. But I can tell a funny story about the farm, though.
Okay. How long is it? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Because I have other questions.
I can make it really short.
Okay.
When I went west, after I'd gone west, this is a little out of order, but anyway, when I went west, we had a bunch of sort of hippie kids working on the farm, a bunch of ladies, or young girls, maybe in their teens, and they were over weeding over across from Patty Whitney's house, over in that field over there. And I wasn't here, I've just heard that they weeded topless. And I heard that we had an awful lot of traffic.